Yo, you already know what it is. It's your boy DJ Filthy Rich.
Yeah, it's your boy DJ Big X.
It's your girl Shalee Perry.
And this is the We Outside Show. We back with another good episode. And we got another super producer in the building, man. The one and only Black Metaphor.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
It's all good, man.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, bro.
Good?
Oh, blessed, man.
No doubt. All right, so you got a lot of heat in these streets over the years. You like one of them quiet guys that got a lot of loud beats.
Yeah.
So for the people who don't know, run down some of the joints that they might know you from.
Shit, Ali Boumaier, Game, 2 Chainz and Ross, Idols Become Rivals, Ross, goddamn, Jeezy Get Right, Jeezy Beautiful, Ross Richer Than I Ever Been, Richest Gangster, motherfucking We Gon' Make It, Meek Mill, In God We Trust, shit.
He going, huh?
French Montana, Sanctuary.
That's my shit.
Yeah, that joint. Benny, me and Fuse did a joint for Benny the Butcher called Did I.
Okay.
That shit up there too. The list go on though, bro. Honestly, I be forgetting.
Yeah, see, your style is crazy to me too. I always been a fan because you got that soulful. It's like soul and trap at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When what do you use?
Right now I'm on an MPC 2500.
Okay, what you know about that?
2500. That's the old box.
Yeah, that's the old.
Yeah,
one.
is that the beige one?
It's black.
The black.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, I put a white skin on mine though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's an older model. Why you don't use a newer one?
Cause I don't like the touchscreen.
Okay.
I got an eye condition, bro, called keratoconus. So I really been like half blind for like 10 years. But I just got these contacts this year and shit. So like when they went the touchscreen route, that just kind of defeated the whole purpose of why I started using that motherfucker.
So with the condition you have with your eyes, the what is the LED screen?
Yeah, the screen pretty much. I just have to squint at it a lot. And so with I had an MPC Studio. That was the first one I had. And so that shit easy to do like muscle memory because the screen is real basic. So you know what I mean, like.
And that's that was the plug and play.
USB joint.
Yeah. Okay.
What was your first major placement?
Jeezy Get Right.
Get Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a banger too.
I was using Logic back then.
Oh, that was on Logic. Yeah.
Yeah, really, a lot of the shits I named was on Logic. Ali Boumaier, Sanctuary, Idols.
So what pulled you to using a standalone like a MPC coming out just from using the software?
It was kind of two things. It was like, for one, it was my eyes, and then for two, it was like the workflow. Like once I first got my hands on the little MPC Studio, and was just able to do patterns without having to think or look at nothing or click no buttons. And then note repeat is really what changed the game.
So for me, and I'm coming from being an old school producer, right? And I know what you're talking about now. Like when you was using Logic, where you kind of drawing the beat out opposed to playing it.
Yeah, or like for me, like I'll play it, or like I was using battery. So if I wanted to do hi-hat rolls, I had like different pads in battery set up to do like different speed rolls. So like I had to go in there and program that shit to do that.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, if I want to use a different hi-hat, like I gotta go in there and redo it for each joint.
You're right.
You know
and that's actually like, and it just kind of let the audience know, that's kind of like when you go in and you use the pencil in the program, you kind of like,
yeah.
It's kind of like
That's not even natural though.
But it's like a piece of art at that point. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It is.
You kind of, because you designing, you're actually designing the beat opposed to programming the beat.
Yeah. But that note repeat, you can get a different flow going with that. Like you don't have to think about nothing.
But let me ask you this: is your level of being creative, right? When you're using that machine, like just saying, going from a drum machine where you actually sit down and you kind of just beating out what's coming to you. You know what I'm saying? In that computer process.
Pause. Sorry, I couldn't help it. It was too good.
In that computer process, you actually are just, you got to really have your thought process of what you want that shit to sound like.
Yeah.
While you making it.
Yeah.
Well, when you actually beating it out, you actually.
God damn.
Okay.
Y'all can't be serious.
But listen, man, when you actually making the beat, you know what I'm saying? When you actually making the beat, you kind of know you kind of know what you want to play because mentally you actually are doing it with your hands. You know.
Yeah.
So how different is that, like, for you just being creative wise, your process of going into creating that music?
It's exactly like what you just said. And then like, once you get so many hours on it and get used to it, you don't even have to really think. You just kind of do whatever the music tell you. You know what I mean? Or you just like close your eyes and you might play some random shit on accident.
Now, you playing the keyboard parts and all that too? Like writing it out, or you playing it on the keyboard?
I got a Phantom that I use now, so I still record all the MIDI into the 2500. Like I'm using that shit. Like I'm using that motherfucker. So
All right,
I'm doing MIDI and audio
and the reason
tracks.
why I'm going so detailed because a lot of times the older guys we don't know how it's a lot more intricate when you start using Logic and you start going into the software part of producing. Like that's a whole nother level. Like the younger kids picked up that. When we came up, we was happy with just a beat. Like the MPC was a beatbox. You know what I'm saying? Like you load your drum sounds up, you sample your sounds in, and everything you kind of create everything right there. In the computer, it's like you kind of got to go in and you kind of got to know how to work. If you don't know how to work the software,
So
We're done, yeah.
yeah,
And it's crazy because, I came up, I learned on software, so I kind of went backwards. And, like, for me, I see why y'all use what y'all use. Like, this shit is way easier.
right. Because
It's
when
way
you telling me I got to do the rolls, I got to go in the battery, and I got a certain type of. I'm going like, yo, we just hit the note repeat and change the levels. You know what I'm saying?
I hadn't drawn a note in 10 years. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, nah, that's over with. It's over with.
So how did you hook up with Jeezy?
So that came through Skrilla. I was working with Skrilla. I had 2 joints on the demonstration tape that he dropped, and Big Red and Carbon 15 had reached out.
Oh, Carbon.
Yeah. And so I sent them a pack, and then they was like, "Bro, we need you to come to the studio tomorrow." So that's how that happened.
So you did Get Right and Beautiful at the same time, or that was like a.
Nah, I played him Beautiful, and so he picked like 8 other beats that session, and then I came back the next week, and he had that joint recorded with Game, and then they also had Ryan Leslie come to the studio, and so we made the Win Is a Win beat that day, and then the Get Right, and then another joint I had with him called Perfection, they came like afterwards, like I probably sent them those like the next week or something.
Okay.
So what was Ryan Leslie is like a genius, like a genius. What was it like working with him? And I mean, IQ wise, he's a genius too. I don't know if people realize how smart that dude is.
So this was like my first major session, you know what I mean, ever. So like this whole shit was just,
You had
crazy.
been in the bedroom just making beats.
Yeah, I was
right to
the
that.
college dorm just cooking up, and so it hit me. I bring my little college dorm keyboard with the little sticker on it and shit, and so like he just like, bro, load me up. I had already chopped up some samples, had some drums going and shit, so he was just like pull up a piano and stretch the beat out. So he just played for like 11 minutes. Played like a keyboard. He played a couple leads, a couple string parts. But like, you know how he do. It's just like the videos. Like he be going.
Yeah.
He be going. You know what I mean?
So now let me ask you this now. As a new producer, your first placement is with Jeezy, right? And you said prior to that you was in the dorm room. What was that feeling like? And what was your thought process when you was in the room for the first time, going from the dorm room to a professional setting, like being in the room with a Jeezy?
I mean, honestly, it kind of felt destined. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really feel no different. I still kind of don't feel no different. You know what I mean? Like, I always felt like I wanted to gain respect for what I do. You know what I mean? I always been willing to put in the work. You know what I mean? To, like, be one of the best doing this shit. So, like, when that time came, I just felt like it was the first step, you feel me, in my overall goal.
Do you feel like producers have to put in a certain amount of work hours a day to be a great producer, or is it just something that, like I heard one producer, he said, just come to me naturally?
I feel like it's both. I feel like you got to put in a certain amount of time if you want to be great at anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how the universe works.
Right.
You know, like, for me, my personal experience, like, the more I actually put time into my craft, like, the more results I get that may not even be directly related to the work that I just did. You know what I mean? Like, I might have just made 10 beats today in the crib all by myself. You feel me? And I might get 5 emails tomorrow, just out the blue type shit. So
now that's a producer question. Then I'm gonna let Phil get in right quick. Out of those 10 beats that you say you make in a day, how many would you say is actually great beats?
it depends on, like, the rhythm you in. Like, if I've been making beats every day, then out of them 10, probably like 7. But if I done took some days off, probably like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Like a few of them gonna be kind of.
So you gotta get a time to warm up. Then you get into that rhythm of. Are you a sampler or just you like to play a lot?
I mostly sample. I play on top of stuff. You know what I mean? And when I do play stuff, it's usually like R&B type stuff, or you know what I mean, shit like that. But
As
yeah.
far as sampling, do you feel like that's overdone? Like as far as when you hear music and artists, like, you know, as far as like just the game and having an ear or a sound.
Nah, I think right now people kind of taking the easy way out.
So, but would you say that's sampling?
Yeah, it's all sampling.
Yeah, but that's so you would say that's the easy way out.
Yeah, like sampling specific hits. You know
Exactly,
what I mean? To try
sampling
to,
hits.
You know, get a specific audience. My bad. Like,
But do you feel like it has the same, I guess, effect that it had beforehand? Like back in the day, I went to the BET Awards, so they was talking about who, I guess somebody who was producing for LL Cool J and then
It's
back
Molly
in the-
Mall.
Molly Marl.
There you go. Thank you. My bad.
Right.
Y'all got my back. Period.
Yeah.
He was the first sample, but it's like it seemed like it's so like it's saturated. Do you feel like that changes the quality of making the beat good or not, or do you feel like it still holds it just depending on how the artist brings, like what the artist brings to the record?
yeah, that's a good question actually. I think that you just gotta do samples the right way. Like, I feel like samples always got a certain texture.
Right.
Or gonna have a certain feeling to them, but like the drums and everything else you put around that gotta be right for it to really translate how it's supposed to. You know what I mean? Then you know what the artist does on top of that, but like the artist could make a great song with a great sample, and if the drums is trash, like nobody really gonna remember that shit.
But really just going back to what I know, I'm not even gonna say she wanted to say, but I know when you start talking about it, it just made me think about like now, and I think you kind of was leading to it a little bit. Like now that artists are actually sampling, they're not really sampling how hip hoppers would sample back in the day, where they wouldn't go and sample the most obvious record. Now it's like people are sampling like records that's not even 10 years old, and redoing records that was like 5 and 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? So they was just recent hits. When we were sampling records from the 60s, the 70s, rare, just like rare grooves. Like you know, you had to really know your records and the music to really know that was a sample. You get what I'm saying?
So it's technique. So just basically they doing it wrong. There's the right way to do it, and because they're
Well, because and it's like I was saying on a panel I was on, nobody's teaching the kids how to actually sample either. A lot of these kids are just getting drum machines and sampling whatever they find. You get what I'm saying? Like if I gave you an MPC right now, you ain't got no old records.
what you know, you don't know what I got.
But I'm just saying.
Don't come. No. One thing about it, like I'm an old soul, and I like my pops. Like listen to a lot of old music. No, I'm not a TikTok Gen Z. Don't go there.
But you gonna sample the records. But you gonna sample
You
the
don't
most.
know what I would do.
But listen to what I'm saying though. You're gonna sample, even if you had records, you're gonna go and sample the most popular records.
No,
that,
I'm not.
that people know. You
No,
get
I'm
what I'm
not.
saying? And that's what a lot of
Challenge.
we
Yeah,
gonna
she
see.
was bold. Like, no, I'm
No,
not.
no, I'm not, because
ready.
the thing
She
about
ready.
it is I'm so, if I heard it before and I know, oh, that's the obvious pick, why would I do what somebody obviously would do? That makes no
Well,
sense.
and the reason why you would do that because Puffy he made millions of dollars doing that, so it actually works.
And Hitmaker
No,
doing it now
the
too.
exploitation works. It's just that easy exploitation. It's the first thing anybody, like if it's the first thing that comes to your mind and multiple people's mind, it's not creative. What makes something creative is that you went deep went
Right,
into
correct,
your own bag.
and you absolutely correct.
Yeah, so that's why I said I'm a real creative. Don't play on my top. Don't play on my top.
She got a beat coming out next week. Make sure.
No. I'm just saying, as part of a creative process, I understand that there has to go more into it, and that's why I had asked the question, because I feel like people are not. They're just scratching the surface, and then that's why we have music that's not sticking.
And the reason why I said what I said is because nobody is teaching these kids. Nobody is giving these kids an MPC and saying, "Hey, man, now here are 100 records that you're supposed to sample."
Yeah.
But I
You know
don't
what
think
I'm
it's
saying?
that. I feel you that to a degree, but a lot of people
They
aren't
gotta figure it
passionate
out.
about music.
Right.
Like, you
Yeah,
know,
they
when
gotta
you're really
figure it out.
passionate about something, you figure it out. If you're not figuring it out, it's because you just doing it because you just want to be lit. You ain't trying to make a legacy. You ain't trying to be somebody.
But 90%,
10 years down the road.
90%, and you can hear that in 90% of the producers that they call producers and beat makers now. They are scratching the surface. Nobody's going deep. I mean, when you think about going deep, you got to remember it is crews that's called like digging in the crates. Sampling goes deep,
Yeah.
real deep. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about like obscure records. You could talk about Polish records, German records, Japanese
going
records.
crazy
It's
over
all
there.
kind of stuff. Like even when you think about what made people love Timbaland so much is that he went outside of the box of sampling soul and jazz records. He was sampling
Babies.
babies and
Frogs.
and
Anything.
frogs, and
Yeah.
he was beatboxing. He was beating on the table. He was saying Arabian records. He was doing all kind of stuff. So sampling can go a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was one of the questions what I was asking you too was like, what do you prefer to sample?
Stuff I never heard before. Like I like to stay away from, the stuff everybody heard. But as a producer, it's phases that you go through. So like when you starting out, everybody gonna go through, Marvin, Aretha, Willie Hutch. Like
Right.
that's the starting point because you don't really know
Right.
nothing yet. But as you put more time in and just over the years, like if you really serious about it, you gonna want to dig more and you gonna start learning about the music from other countries and really artists that you never heard of. Like that's what I'm always looking for.
Right.
Do you ever have a problem with, everybody always want the money. So do you have a problem with people saying, man, I don't want no samples in my beat because it's going to take all the money away? That's a yeah.
I mean, that's true. Like everybody got their own, stance on that or whatever. But for me, I think that a lot of people be scared to sample, or like a lot of people sample beats don't be really hard enough to go through the headache to get them clear.
Or get the clearance, yeah.
Like if they want it, if they really want that shit, they gonna clear it.
Now, do you try to disguise your samples, or do you just try to a lot of just let it roll?
It depends on the situation. Like I just be cooking up, man. You know what I mean? Just trying to make something that sound good. So it might be some beats where I do that. It might be some where I don't. Then even like my last situation, with Ross, I had to I got a sample replayed, but like you still gotta clear the publishing side. So like you know what I mean? It's like,
But it's a lot easier though.
yeah, it's easier. Like they can't tell you can't use it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
You ever had one that you was like, man, they didn't clear this one and this was going to be the one?
yeah. It was one, bro. It was 2 Chainz and Nas.
Oh, wow.
What?
On the Boats 2 album in 2013. But it didn't get clear just because they didn't tell me in time. Like they told me like a week before the album was supposed to drop. So I could have replayed
Did it
it.
get pulled?
I mean, I don't really know what was happening with it, but
So they didn't even give you the opportunity to replay it or
nah, it was too late by the time they told me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that shit was gonna be crazy.
So
shit
now,
was gonna be crazy.
now, being that you do sample, and I know this is one of the learning lessons as a producer that a lot of us we hate this day when it happened. When you sample a record and then you find out how many people actually after clearing the sample, how many people might have to get paid for that record. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's what I was saying.
You might have a record that might have, just say you sample a James Brown record. He might have 7 writers.
Don't do that.
He might have 7 writers on a record. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and this is what a lot of people don't know. Like when you sample a record, those 7 writers, they got to give permission or have to go.
Now look, you need a good lawyer because them 7 writers knew that they wrote that one song together. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you just get.
So you got to get one split.
Yeah,
You try to get
I've
one
always
split.
gotten publishing on all my songs. So I've been fortunate enough to have good lawyers, good people behind me. So usually, whatever the percent is for the sample, however many writers they have, they split that up.
They split that. They split. If it's 10, they'll split that 10.
Then me and the artist split.
The rest of it,
everything else.
yeah.
I never had to eat a sample all the way.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
That's a good thing because I have.
Now you got some joints like all right, so this is my thing too with you. I'm one of those people because I'm from that era where I used to like to go buy the tape, open it up, read the credits. So I still, even on Tidal and Spotify, I click the credit button because I be wanting to know who makes the beats. I'm like that. So it's so many times where I was like, yo, this is hard. Who did this? And your name pop up. I actually reached out to you one day in the DM. I was like, yo, I gotta do something with you. I don't even know what to do, but
Yeah, you hit me around the time you was working with my boy Tino.
exactly,
Yeah, yup,
exactly.
yup,
Like
yup.
you dope. So it's certain joints like Sanctuary for French Montana. Like a lot of times, if I wasn't the type of person to go look, I'd have thought Harry Fraud did that beat. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
why are you so quiet, bro? Like you ain't loud. Like you don't have a tag.
I got a tag.
Do you have
all
a
my
tag?
shit? See what I'm
See,
saying?
we don't even know. Like
I'm trying to figure it out, bro.
how your tag go?
It's just like a whisper, like Black Metaphor.
Yeah, see,
It's in there though.
you got to make that shit loud, bro.
Right.
Because
Look, I
you
just
really
had a
fire,
whole
man.
meeting about this shit like 2 weeks ago. You
For
right.
real?
Yeah. I don't try to be quiet intentionally.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I just feel like, I gotta put my face out more, do more stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like
Do you
more
think?
videos.
Do you think like doing that will help you as well? Like just saying, if you did make your branding like on the front of the record a lot broader, so people would know it's you.
Yeah, because listen, man, niggas hear his beats, they be like, I want that. But they going to think it's somebody else. I guarantee you, bro.
Nah, but they never gonna get what they gonna get from me, bro.
Facts.
They never gonna get it.
So make your tag loud, bro. It's just from me to you as a
It's
fan.
marketing.
That's real
It's
shit.
marketing.
What?
Definitely
So-
marketing.
So when you go into doing beats for a lot of these, like, do you have a mindset like these beats are for my indie artists, and these beats are for my A-list artists? Do you set your beats up like that, or do you just, if you got a beat, a set of beats, you just give them out to whoever is available?
I used to. I used to set stuff aside because, it's always that dynamic in a producer head where it's like, man, if I sell this beat now, but 5 years from now I get a session with, da-da-da-da-da, and I don't, this might have been the one joint. And I had a situation like that starting out. I had an artist offer me $1,000 for the Ali Boumaier beat. And I was like, I ain't want to let that one go. And so, that situation worked out. But, that was early. And now that I have such a big, vast catalog, I don't necessarily care as much. Like I might prefer to give indie artists maybe older beats, but the quality about the same.
It's the same, yeah.
But what happens when that artist takes that older beat and puts it out as a single? But is it just an older beat to you at the time, or is it still up to the standard of what's hot at the time that he actually putting that beat out?
Nah, for me, like, so, I value my art. So, I want to give myself the best chance of success first sometimes.
Right.
So, I got artists that I closely work with that I let them have whatever. And then, like, a lot of them beats, I want to shop them first. I want to send them to A&Rs. I want to send them to songwriters, kind of see what could happen with them. So after I done had them for a couple years, I kind of usually don't have that attachment to them no more.
Okay.
So I'll just be willing.
Because I know
go.
sometimes you got to make that beat. You go, well, this beat right here for 2 Chainz,
Yeah.
and you try to hold that beat.
You still gotta make the play though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you do gotta make things happen sometimes. So, you don't want to always shoot yourself in the foot by just giving everything away.
But see, you made a good decision because even with the Ali Boumaier, now that was $1,000, but that joint ended up in Grand Theft Auto. You got all type of play from that record, so you made the right decision with that one.
No, I appreciate it.
Do you ever find yourself where a lot of people come to you as a producer and say, I just want to buy that beat outright?
I mean, yeah, I always just assume that to mean that they don't want nobody else to have the beat, because like buying a beat outright, like I don't even know what they mean, because I'm getting publishing. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's what, when somebody say, I want to buy the beat outright meaning, okay, what does it cost for me to buy the beat? Like, I own the beat. You're selling me the beat.
Yeah, that's what, like, they just don't know the business. Like, what's the benefit of me not having no publishing? Like, you know what I mean?
But most people don't even understand. Like, when
They'll buy the beat and you still get the publisher.
right, but they don't. but then they'll be mad at the end because they're going like, I thought I bought this beat.
Right. No, bro.
But that's the thing. Like, see, you buying a majority share of the master. Like, you're not buying my publishing. You know what I mean? So, like, if you don't buy it, then we splitting the master and the publishing.
But what's the purpose of me buying the beat?
Wait,
having
hold up. I got a good fucking question.
Because that's what I charge for my, that's what I charge for my time.
So because this was, and the reason why I asked that, because this is the confusion a lot of people.
So
find
what
out.
should the artist be paying for if they buying, like, I want to know, what is the artist paying for? So basically, is it basically when people ask for money up front and they got this large amount attached to it, they basically getting paid twice, because the publishing, you still gonna get that on the back end. So it's just basically people trying to get front end money and then making it fancy by saying, by letting the artist think that they got full, control.
Well, they do have full control, because
They have
he's saying,
full
I'm not
control.
gonna get what you're paying for is just like what he said in the beginning.
No, but I'm saying once it
paying
goes on
for
the
nobody
split.
else to have this
Right,
beat.
right, okay.
That's what you're paying for. You're not outright buying the beat.
You're just making it exclusive.
But
to get.
but in the mind of the person that's paying you, he has the thought process that he actually paid for the beat.
But yeah,
You
see,
no
that's the thing. It's just-
longer have no ties to the beat. He actually paid you for all rights to the beat.
Well, yeah, that's just, a misunderstanding
That's what the
Because you
lawyers
got to
is for.
register a split sheet, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When
you
you
still
drop
gotta
it,
do that.
and then, you know, all of that. So,
I'm just being devil's advocate. I don't want you to think of, like I would think like this, but being devil's advocate, just say you came to me and you said, I said I want to buy the beat outright, and I said, well, what it cost me? You say $10,000. I'll give you $10,000.
well, now I'm going to ask what you mean by outright first.
Well, outright to me mean I own the record. I own the rights to the record. Ain't no publishing. I own the track. I own it. I'm giving you $10,000 to own the track. What you're talking about, you're gonna actually get the publishing and that. In my mind, when I give you this $10,000, I own this track.
Yeah, I went through this recently where I had to explain to where it's like the publishing, it's not even affecting you. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't even taking nothing out your pocket. Like, you not paying for my publishing. Like, we both created this work. So, like, the residual money that it generate, like, that's both our hands. I'm not getting bought out.
Okay.
I just won't do it.
Right.
Or they could pay me like 50.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
so
the
it's up to price,
so,
yeah.
so the realistic price to buy you out is 50, right?
Yeah, like,
Okay. So that's what I'm saying, because a lot of times when people be buying these tracks and they go, well, man, you know, I paid for the track. I bought the track. And then the producer go, well, I still get my publishing on the back end. Then the dude go, nah, dog, I paid for this track. So that's why I asked you that, because a lot of times, just like when she wasn't clear, she's saying, well, okay, if I'm giving you money for the track, then what am I paying for? So now you kind of cleared it up so people know that, okay, you're only really just paying for the rights for me not to let somebody else license or rap over this beat.
So let me ask you, because you remember like in the 80s and 90s, really more so in the 90s and the 2000s, like somebody like Pharrell, you'd be like, all right, this beat is $100,000. How are they doing that? Because remember, niggas was paying a bag for producers for a beat.
You got to think back then, if somebody paid you $100,000 for a beat, it was their beat. I mean,
Ain't no publishing no more, right?
You don't care. I mean, $100,000 for the beat, you don't care what they go. Now, the only part about it is, you would feel crazy if that record went and blew up. I know people that sold their records for less than $100,000 and actually sold the record for $1,500, and the record blew up.
They sold the rights.
They sold the record away for $1,500.
Oof.
They didn't get no publishing. They didn't get nothing on the record. They got $1,500.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough.
And the record went on to be like a big record.
They ain't kill themselves, did they?
They should have.
I ain't know it was that bad out
this is why I said a lot of those things were done so that you guys can sit in this seat now and go, okay, well, no, I'll sell it for 10, but I'm still gonna own my publishing. You see what I'm saying? So all of those things had to happen so that we can sit here now and the younger guys can have the say so to go, okay, yeah, I want to own my record. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I say, is it harder? Like, and this is another thing I haven't understood about, like, this whole, because I know for a while it was like everybody was sending CDs to everybody, you know, and if you ran into them, you give them a disc full of CDs, or now you email the beat. Is it harder to shop beats to an artist now, or is it easier to just create your own group?
It's easier to shop beats to artists now.
Okay.
Because, well, at least for me, like, that's the benefit of having, you know, the reputation and the catalog that I do. So now, you know, like, somebody engineer might be familiar with me, you know what I mean, or somebody manager or somebody on somebody's team. Like, so I could kind of strategically figure out how I want to get to certain artists. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, fortunately, you know, they kind of familiar with my records.
But now the big
easy.
secret, and I didn't mean to cut you off. The big secret for producers is if you create your own group, then it builds a bigger bag for you, opposed to shopping beats. Why haven't you created your own groups yet?
So I'm working on that now. So I got a few artists I'm working with, mainly right now, King Elway, like I was telling you earlier. You know what I mean? And you know, we working. Clay James, you know what I mean? Scotty ATL, all working together, man, to push that. So that's really like my main focus. I got another guy named Skipper Jones that I'm working with right now. Then, I mean, you know my boy Catino. So I kind of got, you know, artists and shit like that I'm, like, trying to build sounds with. But as far as, like, a group, nah, I never I hadn't even
Shout out to
thought about
Catino
it.
too,
Well,
man.
not when I say, well, let me not use the old school phrase.
You mean an artist?
Artist.
An artist,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
'Cause
Ain't no
like
more
for,
groups.
like for me, when I was producing,
Yeah,
Nigga,
I
old.
a little bit.
I didn't mind shopping beats, but I always like creating a group because I knew it would make people would know me more if I created that group or that artist opposed to just dropping tracks on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because you can always go and shop a track and sell a track as a producer, but you get more work if you go and create an artist.
And you get to put more of your stamp on it too, like more
Yeah,
personal
yeah.
touch. Because
Right.
you know when you working on major projects, you really kind of at the mercy of what they looking for, or unless you just got that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they looking for what you got. But when you working with your own artist, you just got the freedom to really do whatever. You know what I mean?
Do you find it hard to meet the demands of what like a lot of the A&Rs and a lot of people are looking for right now? Because music is kind of funny right now, so.
I always found it hard to meet the demands. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, my first A&R email was like, yo, we need some club up-tempo joints.
You don't even make that.
Yeah, that's not, so it's always been hard for me to meet their demands. I don't even really care about that shit.
See, that's why I think you dope too, though, because your beats don't fit into anything. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of dictate what the sound is going to be. Like, some producers you could tell, like, yo, they're trying to make a radio record or they're trying to just mimic what everybody else is doing. And I think that's what always made me like your stuff because it just sounds like you. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like, instead of you going to the artist, it's like you bringing the artist over here. Like, nah, man, come over here and hop on this.
It's still about like tempos and shit though, because you still got to kind of mesh with an artist, you know, tempo or how they usually rap.
Who do you think you work the best with?
Probably King Elway.
Yeah, your guy.
That's your artist, though, right?
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, because you setting the pace.
Yeah.
As a producer,
Yeah,
you
that
setting the
guy
pace.
right there is crazy, man. Every time he get in the booth, he like 10 times better.
Where's he from?
Griffin,
From Griffin, Georgia. Okay. Where you from?
Jonesboro.
Jonesboro. Okay.
Grew up down. I went to Lovejoy.
Even Southside.
Yeah. Okay. So he from Griffin. Yeah.
So with the way this music is now, right? Like, is it easier for you to pull a younger guy in the studio and kind of give him that direction, or is it easier for you as a producer to work in with a veteran?
Both. I just had a session last night where I had a realization because me and the other producer in there was like the same age, and like the artist was a little younger, so it's kind of like we at like that kind of wisdom age, so like we could really help more. Like, you know, when I was younger, I guess I didn't have a mind on like really how to help a song or how to help or how to convey that to an artist.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you get a little older, it's easier for you to do that, and then you know the younger artists, you know, they kind of look up to you. You know what I mean? So they more willing to listen.
You can feed them that direction. So is it a thing where like now, when you hear these young guys going in there now, and especially with where hip hop is right now, you got a lot of guys that are going in. They just talking about a lot of nonsense. They talking about their cars, their clothes, their jewelry. Do you kind of give them a direction? Ops and sliding. Like, especially with it being your music and it's your creation, do you give the direction as far as like where you want them to go on your record, or do you kind of just get them the freedom of like write whatever they want to?
Both. It depends on the artist. Some artists like to really do what they gonna do first and then kind of critique it afterwards. But a lot of times, if I got an idea for it, I kind of give them a general theme of what I think the song should be about, like when I give them the beat. You know what I mean? So that's really that.
Do you like going in with like the when a lot of these old like younger artists, are you making the hooks for them, or are they creating their own hooks? Because what I'm noticing is a lot of these young dudes don't write hooks. And I be trying to, and I tell y'all this all the time at New Music Monday, I'm trying to find the hook in the record.
They take a piece of the verse and just make it the hook.
So when you in the studio as a producer, and I'm asking you this because I'm not in it, like I used to be really into this shit, bro. So I'm not in the studio with these rappers, and I'm going like, for us back in the day, the hook, we used to record the hook before we record the record.
I see, you know, I think that's a difference. I think that's a difference now, right? Like kind of what we was just talking about. I think what I'm seeing is a lot of the young artists now, like they are open to direction.
Right.
Like some of them really looking for it. I feel like in my generation, like when we was kind of getting in it wasn't nobody around giving us no direction, or like you said, like it wasn't nobody
Right.
said nothing like that, or even learning how to chop samples. Like nobody taught me that shit. Like
Oh.
I was watching Just Blaze and Knife Wonder on YouTube and just
just
had to
caught
figure
on,
out
yeah.
like, oh, they hitting the keys. Okay, I need to put slices. You know what I mean? I had to make sense out of this shit, but nobody taught us this shit.
And that was what I was saying earlier. Like nobody taught it to you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy because when I'm listening to this music, I'm going like the hook is the most important part of the record. That's what's considered a hit record.
That's
And
the
I'm
money.
going like, how could you as a producer, and these guys are called some of the greatest producers to ever do hip hop right now.
Yeah.
How could these guys be called some of the greatest producers and the music is not hook oriented? Because that's what brings people into the music. So when you go in the studio, are you hook oriented or do you even have the mind state of when you record the beat or when you create the beat, is there a hook already in mind?
Like I say, for me, it'd be more theme based. So I definitely could probably be more hook oriented. I could work on that.
Okay.
But a lot of times I like to have writers around, you know what I mean, to kind of help bring those ideas together or just kind of brainstorming off each other.
Are you there most of the time, especially like with the major artists like Jeezy or Ross or Game? Are you in the studio when they doing the records, or they just do it and they send it back to you?
It's 50-50. Most of the majors, like the Jeezy session I was there for, and then really most of it I done heard it when it came out, except for the last one, the Richer Than I Ever Been. Ross had pulled up on me for my birthday. We actually had the session here. Let's thank on. Yeah, he pulled up on me for my birthday in 2020. He picked like 30 beats. And then the next day he hit me and he was like, yo, I'm at Jazzy spot, pull up.
Yeah.
So like that was my first time actually being in the lab with him while he was recording.
Dope. What was that like?
Quick.
Oh, he fast.
Yeah, one take.
Hey, I
One
can
take
only
the
imagine he
whole
can-
Okay,
song.
Drake.
One take the whole joint.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he one of those, man.
Dope.
He one of those.
So who was like? And I gotta ask you this because I'm just curious because every producer have one. Who was the asshole in the studio that you worked with that you was just like, man, like he was just giving you the most problems the whole time you was in the studio with him? Not that he's a bad person, but
Trying to think,
just
bro, I'm really
difficult
trying
to work
think,
with.
yeah,
man.
he's difficult to work with. Let me say that.
Man, I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think because I don't recall having no issues. But I remember back when I used to intern for Justice League, they had a session with Mike Posner. And like he was just roasting the fuck out of me because my slides, I had on some little white Jordan slides, but they wasn't white no more. And so he just wouldn't let that shit go, bro. I had to leave. Like, you know what I mean? Shit was crazy.
So damn. All right. So let's go there. You can't gloss over that. So you used to intern for Justice League.
Yeah.
Dope. So what was that like?
Oh man, that was
Because they
that
beats
was
is
a
big.
blessing.
I could see that.
That was a blessing. That was a blessing. It was right after Deep in the Rap came out. I had got, a call from Kels, RP Kels at TN2. She knew my homegirl Chelsea, and like they was looking for an intern, so I applied, and I ended up getting it. And so it was like that 2009, 2010 era, like when they did Aston Martin music, like everything that, like maybe that Music 3, you know what I mean? Like all
Big
that
joints.
shit, yeah.
But you say you didn't have a teacher. Those are great teachers.
Hell yeah.
See, but that's the thing. Like they didn't, like Rook knows, they didn't really teach me. I watched and learned. Like
Right.
I was being helpful. Rook gave me more like parables type shit. Like one day he sat me down and told me, he was like, bro, he was like, man, look, man, you see all this trash and shit on the desk, bro. He was like, why you ain't get it yet? I know you gonna get it in a minute, but you could get it now. And he was
Right.
like, you do the same thing in your beats. He was like all your beats kind of sound unfinished. Like it's stuff that you kind of know you need to do, but you wait till later. And then I was like, damn, you right. But like, they didn't actually show me like, the A's and B's of how to make a beat. I was just kind of watching and learning and listening.
Now you said something that made me that kind of triggered something. When you're making your beats, are you actually completing the beat, or do you complete the beat when you get to the studio?
Oh, no, I don't wait till I get to the studio, but sometimes I'll get like most of a beat started and then go work on some other stuff and come back to it and finish it. But like I don't usually like to go too far before I finish the stuff I worked on.
Because for me, just being a producer, it's always been kind of difficult for me to make beats for like a beat take, because it's like I can't finish a beat because I don't know what's actually gonna go on the beat. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said like I'm not a writer, so I can't actually do a hook to the hook part to the song because there's no hook there yet. There's no reference for me to kind of feed off of, for me to kind of arrange the record to make a hook. So how do you, when you going in, you making it your beat process, and you going, well, I'm gonna make these records right here for 2 Chainz. What's your beat process of like? Okay, like, are you going in just going like, I'm gonna use these sounds, that sound, or it should sound like this?
So it kind of, like I said, it be more style. So like a lot of times, so when I sample, if I chop up a sample, like every time you do that, you kind of got a decision on which way you want to go with, like from there, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
whether you want to go like the bouncy route, or whether you want to go like the boom bap route, or like the R&B route. So
So
like,
the sample kind of,
the sample kind of dictated sometimes, but like from there, like you could really get lost in creating whatever. So you gotta like, you do have to sometimes think about the artist ahead of time and just stick to what, you know, you might know them to use. So like you said, a certain type of drums, or like a certain tempo.
right?
Or like I know I might throw an 808 in that motherfucker or something.
Okay.
So you mentioned a couple guys, some of my favorites, and I can see why I like your style. So you said Justice League, one of my favorites. Just Blaze is one of my favorite producers too. So who are some of the other producers that kind of influenced you a little bit, or that you really like?
Dilla, Bink, Neptunes, Drummer Boy, Shawty Red, Kanye. I fuck with Ill Mind.
Yep.
I like Ill Mind, you know what I mean? Ninth Wonder. The list go on for
It's
real.
a dope list. So you a hip hop head for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got all my CDs that I ever had my whole life. Like all my CDs
All
I
your
burned.
beat
Like,
CDs?
yeah, I got all my shit from LimeWire still. Like I still got everything.
LimeWire.
LimeWire, yeah.
I still got
That was
everything.
the era, God.
So you said Dilla, and
dope.
being that, just knowing some of the people you work with, right? And you said Dilla, one of the first producers came out of your mouth was Dilla. What was it about Dilla that you liked as a producer?
The feeling, just the feeling and the cohesiveness of his beats. Like the fact that like when you listen to it, it's like reading a book. It take your mind away from where you at. You know what I mean? Like you can't, you know, like a lot of times people close their eyes, or it just kind of make you daydream about some shit when you hear him.
Okay. I like to hear a lot of people's different perspective on Dilla.
And it's the texture, like the snap, like the way he mixes drums, like they always got a certain kind of bite to them. The kick always hit a certain way.
And then being a producer, do you find it, and like you said, you like Dilla, you Ill Minds, you actually said some real hip hop producers.
Ninth Wonder.
Ninth Wonder.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult sometimes, like especially like with a lot of trap, making a lot of trap music or hearing a lot of trap music, the sounds are kind of like the same sounds. Everybody use the same sounds. When you listen to Dilla, one of the main things that stood out about Dilla and a lot of the producers you named is the drum sounds are totally different in every song. You're never gonna get the same drum sounds on every on the song. You're gonna get a different drum sound. And what you were talking about earlier is the texture. I think the drum sounds is what give the record the texture. You know what I'm saying? So when you making records, is that important to you as far as the texture of the record?
Yeah, because I'm not going to like it if it don't. Like, if, you know, if stuff ain't hitting a certain way, I'm not going to like it. So you just kind of got to figure out what texture you like, and then it's like a million different ways to kind of get it. So, like, you don't have to keep using the same, you know, trap drum or whatever. Like, you can get that same effect that you're trying to get
Do you think?
other ways.
Do you think producers limit themselves by just using the 808 drum sounds? Because a lot of dudes, they won't even step outside of using every song is 808 drum sound. Nobody steps outside of using 808 drum sounds.
I mean, some people just don't want to do no more than that, you know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I can't knock them because it worked, you know what I mean? And it's
So if it
catchy.
work, don't you know?
Yeah,
But
some
they
people
broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like,
You ever worked with a singer before?
yeah.
Who are some singers that people would?
Man, one of the first singers that I worked with was a guy named True Sky. He from out here, man. He actually a dope ass independent artist. Let me think. It was a guy that Don Cannon had.
Cannon, that's my guy.
Man, I forgot bro name. That's so crazy. Damn, I feel so bad on the podcast.
Is he out now? Is he still?
I hadn't heard from him recently, man. It's just been a few singers. It ain't been a lot of.
Yeah, I would like to hear that. That's why I asked, because the way your beats are too, I think somebody singing on your beats would be crazy, and I don't hear it a lot.
Yeah.
Like even the hooks that like the people that get on your songs, they still rap hooks and everything. Like it ain't no singing.
It's one joint I got with Currency called High Rise.
Okay.
He got one of his artists named Aaliyah Fleury on it.
I gotta pick that.
That's one of my favorite records that I produce. Just because of the hook, just because it's actually a singer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the type of performance I want to hear on that shit.
Shalik can sing.
I can.
Oh, yeah?
Just gonna throw the
Yeah,
plug in there. Why
we're
not?
trying to get some songs on her, so you know.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that'd be hard. Somebody sing it. What's the name of the Currency song?
High Rise.
High Rise. I'm on that. I'm on that as soon as we leave.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
That's-
you got
that's
some
like
joints,
top
bro.
3. That's top 3, my favorite.
All right, so give me the other two. So it's
Perfection by Jeezy.
Oh, that's my
Then,
joint.
I got High Rise, and then my personal is this joint with Trey the Truth called
Trey?
Religion. Yeah, Trey the Truth and Dej Loaf called Religion. Yeah, them my
I think
top
I heard
3
that
favorite
before.
beats.
That came out with like
2015, something like that.
15,
where
16,
is
right?
Dej Loaf, bro?
Yeah.
She was popping. Where is she at?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard from her. I know.
Man, she had a vibe.
Yeah, my boy Street Runner did a crazy joint with her, Larry Jones. So I know she's somewhere.
Street
Larry
went crazy
Jones popping too right
Street
now.
Runner.
Man, Larry June going crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
So,
All right, so I know we're running out of time. So before we get you out of here, we're gonna we usually break the ice at the beginning. We're gonna break the ice now.
Okay.
You comfortable with us now, so we
Okay.
cool. We relaxed. We're gonna play this game, man.
Okay,
And-
here we go. This is my favorite part of the show.
okay.
The game is we're gonna test your black card.
Oh, shit.
So we're gonna see how black you are.
We got to see if you're black now.
Don't get nervous. You're black.
Come on, man. Like,
There you go.
Skin color,
Now you black on the outside. You gotta see you black on the inside.
Yeah,
For sure.
skin color don't mean nothing.
All right, so
sure.
I need you to get the timer out.
Okay.
So the rules of the game is I'm gonna give you 15 seconds to answer each question. All right, and it's the best out of 5.
Okay.
If you get the best out of 5, you keep your black card. If you don't, we're going to snatch that thing, man.
How much time you got?
15 seconds.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. First question is: list 3 things black parents will beat you with.
Come on, a belt, a switch, the broom,
There we go. That's it. That's it.
bro. The goddamn.
He black.
You might get beat with the
I ain't
Tupperware,
got
bro. The
Anything in
goddamn-
reach.
Anything within reach.
Yeah.
Get hit with a Nintendo controller. Fuck.
Bro, I had to go outside and pick my own switch.
Them the old days. Yo, bro, that is the most savage shit. I got to go get my own Switch. Then look, you go try to get the little one because you think they hurt the most.
Oh yeah, the wind that comes swoosh, comes swift through that wind. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yo,
All right. List 3 items commonly found in a black household.
sugar. Goddamn, Frosted Flakes. You know what I mean? Carpet freshener,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll take them.
Pine Sol.
I'll take pine.
Definitely.
Pine
Definitely.
Sol. Yo, okay.
My man Black, now you 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Okay. Ready? List 3 things you can put in your grits.
Cheese. Does salt and pepper count?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, cheese, salt, and pepper. I don't personally do ketchup, but my little sister like ketchup in her grits, bro.
Give me another one. I ain't never
Butter.
heard of that.
Butter.
All right,
Butter.
take-
Okay.
Yeah, butter.
She put ketchup
That's
in her
3 for
grits?
3.
Yeah, bro.
Ketchup,
I was thinking shrimp.
Yeah.
I'm
shrimp and
allergic.
sugar.
Oh, okay.
grits. You can't do shellfish.
You can do sugar.
Definitely. People fight over that. They say
You can
salt
do
or sugar. Which
yeah,
one is
which
it?
one you want?
Which one you do?
I don't do either.
I don't fuck with
I
grits.
like regular grits. No salt.
You
no-
eat your grits raw?
Yeah.
Slave, nigga. You a slave.
Yeah.
God damn. All right. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
3 for 3 is crazy. You going in. All right. List 3 movies Denzel Washington played in.
Oh man, come on, Out of Time, Man on Fire, American Gangster, bro, Glory.
My man 4 for 4.
on, bro.
Like,
Like,
come
dang.
on.
We know he
Get him
black.
a
Come
hard
on, bro. It's a
All right, let's
lot of those.
All right, let's do this one. This ain't hard. All right, for the last one, you already got your black card. You going crazy. Now I just want you to go perfect. All right, list 3 throwback BET shows.
All right, damn it, bro. What's the game?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I know movies. I don't remember the shows. The Basement, 106 and Park. Do those count?
Yes.
All right. I was thinking like shows.
Damn, he actually got it. Did he was in the 15, all right?
He got
Yeah,
it,
I
yeah.
wouldn't even thought of the game. I'm thinking like, you know the first thing I
Said
think
the
of?
game, when he said the game, I'm thinking
No,
like
BET Uncut.
I knew. I was like, I'm waiting for BET Uncut.
That's the first thing I'm thinking of.
nobody, but listen, nobody mentions the BET Uncut.
because
That's the best.
they would sleep.
Right, we was
Your
up late.
ass was up.
Being freaks. Nigga waited up for that shit.
I
man.
was grown. I was real grown.
You was already grown?
I was real
Man,
grown.
Tip Drill changed my life, that video.
Tell us you grown without telling us you grown.
BET Uncut. Nigga already had a car, a kid. Yeah, damn. Eating slave grits.
God.
Eggs been outside.
Oh man,
All right, so listen, man, it was good having you, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
You one of those guys that we like to have on the show because I do think you're super underrated. You know what I mean? So I want you to be louder.
Not for long.
Good. I want you
Now
to be
this got
louder.
to be a year coming up. We're gonna,
yeah,
we're gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
sure.
Is there anything that you want to promote before you get out of here that you got coming up that you want people to check for?
Me and my guy King Elway, you know what I mean? Too Soulful on the way. I got another instrumental album coming. Other than that, bro, off top, it ain't really much I could really think of.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just tap in with my social media at Black Metaphor on all platforms. Website, blackmetaphor.net.
That's a bet. Shout out to Black Metaphor, man. We outside. We'll be back next week. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all platforms at The We Outside Show. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.